we have some breaking news, some stunning news out of London. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince Andrew, has been arrested.
Well, it offers a great contrast, I think. Look what the British government is doing in light of the evidence, and look what the United States government's doing. Nothing.
On the latest chapter of the Epstein saga, a scandal decades in the making, it appears, well, outside the United States, that real consequences are materializing.
Presumably in connection with his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein.
Police here in the UK put out a statement. They haven't named him specifically, but they are saying a man in his 60s has been arrested. As part of the investigation, they say we have today arrested a man in his 60s from Norfolk on suspicion of misconduct in public office.
President Trump was asked about Andrew this morning in London.
I don't know Prince Andrew, but it's a tough story. It's a very tough story. I don't know him, no.
President Trump has been photographed with Prince Andrew as far back as the year 2000. He is seen here alongside the Prince and First Lady at his Mar-a-Lago estate. Epstein was also at that.
This week, former Prince Andrew was arrested in the United Kingdom on suspicion of misconduct in public office tied to his association with Epstein over sharing privileged government information with the convicted trafficker while he was a UK trade envoy. Now, we'll await more details before speculating what the arrest is in full reference to, but it does appear that law enforcement action flows from evidence in the Epstein files. And this follows on from news out of Norway that their former prime minister was charged with, quote, aggravated corruption after a police probe into his alleged ties to the late sex offender.
Les nouvelles révélations dans l'affaire Epstein continuent d'avoir des répercussions en Europe. Ce jeudi, la police norvégienne a perquisitionné les propriétés de l'ancien Premier ministre Thorbjørn Jagland.
It was confirmed to CNN that he was, quote, charged with aggravated corruption before the law firm representing the former PM added that they deny all charges. And this isn't just isolated to royalty or former prime ministers, but the private sector also. We noticed last week that Goldman Sachs' chief legal officer resigned after emails revealed a long time and continued relationship with Epstein after his conviction in 2008. So what we're seeing at the moment anyway is momentum of accountability that matters, right? For years, Epstein and his circle operated with shocking impunity, shielded by powerful defenders and political leverage. The fact that some consequences seem to be materializing, albeit nowhere near enough, as we can all agree, it signals that, at the very least, once hidden records are forcing institutions to confront uncomfortable realities. But then that poses a question, right? What about what the Trump administration are doing and how they're handling questions regarding those very same files?
We keep hearing our press secretary and our Department of Justice and other government officials saying they're moving on from this. I wish that we could. I met Epstein and Maxwell when I was 21 years old. I'm nearly 53 now. We cannot move on as survivors of this crime and as citizens of this nation without changing this narrative. So I ask you all to stand behind us and demand accountability for our government, because we certainly are going to.
Well, after Congress passed the Epstein Files Transparency Act requiring the release of all government Epstein documents, which President Trump signed into law, but the rollout has been terrible to say the least, and it's been criticized as tardy and heavily redacted. Critics have argued that the Department of Justice, helmed by Attorney General Pam Bondi at Trump's direction, has used victim privacy and national security as reasons to just slow the pace and obscure substantive material. Because here's what it looks like, right? While you have legal systems in the United Kingdom moving towards consequences, the US executive branch appears more focused on managing optics and shifting the conversation towards unrelated things.
Want to know your reaction to this news? Out of the UK this morning, the former Prince Andrew arrested.
Well, it offers a great contrast, I think. Look what the British government is doing in light of the evidence, and look what the United States government's doing. Nothing. Our chief law enforcement officer is defending and obstructing the investigation, Pam Bondi. And so it has been Congress in getting subpoenas and then passing bills and fighting to get this information disclosed, and our own executive, President Trump, Pam Bondi, and others are obstructing that effort. So it is refreshing that the British government is coming forward and actually, and the king is actually saying, we need to follow the law here. I wish our government were doing
like the economy or the Dow, rather than highlighting the need for justice for victims or transparency in a high-profile criminal network.
I provided the evidence today that